Alright, today we're on a terribly busy lake in central Minnesota. The highway's behind us, the boats are in front of us. And we are attempting to drop shot sunfish. This lake has a 5 per person sunfish limit. We've caught them well over 10 inches before in the past. I'm not saying that's the case anymore, but we're going to give it a go. We're using just night crawler and a drop shot rig, it's called. Basically, a drop shot rig is nothing more than a weight below the hook. And you just put the worm on and drop it down until the weight touches the bottom of the lake. So if you can see that. You drop it real slow until you come into contact with the bottom. And what you're doing is you're just feeling for a bite. Just keep that weight. There it is. That was a bite. Did you watch the rod tip? You can see the fish take the bait right there. Jiggle, 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 bite. And so it doesn't take very long if you're not being attentive to lose your bait. But it's kind of fun. I sure like it better than fishing with a bobber. So here we go again. And there's a fish. Just like that. Now this one here is a pumpkin seed, or nope, that's a hybrid. You can see that. I personally think hybrids taste like bass, but you can ask my brothers. They probably don't have the same opinion, but I'm not a fan, so those get to go back. Unless I beat here and state record. Once again, moving it, feeling for a bite. This was a small fish, so I'm pulling it away, resetting. I'm looking at the graph here. We're in 15.6 feet of water, and what we're trying to do is get underneath where it's the cold, where it's a little colder. The surface temperature is 78 degrees right now, so it's insanely warm. That is not perfect size, but we'll keep trying. There are fish just stacked below us. Little ones again. And what we're trying to do with the drop shot is get below those small fish. The big ones have a tendency to be closer to the bottom, and the smaller ones are above them. You're just dropping through those smaller fish to hopefully get to the bigger ones. And that is a bigger one. And that is not what we wanted. Look at that thing. Nasty thing. Alright, we didn't bring a net, so not the 10s we're after, but good keeper size. A good keeper size fish. Not bad. Alright, so drop shot. This is the weight below the worm. You can see the worm there. You turn the hook by running the line through the eyelet on the direction you want it to come down. So I've got the hook face turned up, and I'm dropping on the fish as quickly as I can. The goal is to get below all the billions of small ones at the surface and see if you can get into something bigger. This is obviously not a we're going to keep going here until we get something worth having. When I'm drop shotting, I like to use a smaller rod. This is a little Fluger IM6 graphite, little 5-footer. I don't even know if it's 5 foot. Alright, another little one. Struggle's real. There's a small one playing with it. I think I'm going to move further down the line there. I think we clouded this up with small ones. When you fish in the same spot for a while, it just fills up with small fish. So I'm going to move the boat further down the line here, and we'll see if we can't. I don't know if I mentioned this, but my son Sam has been good enough to record me today. He only would do so after he'd already caught his limit, so I don't blame him. I'd be the same way. And so what I'm trying to do once again is get below these smaller fish, but unfortunately it's midday and there's a few to get through before we get anywhere. That was a nice release. Skill, I tell you. I don't know if you can hear all the boats, but they basically are just going around and around in circles around us, either in front of us or behind us. It seems they don't care either way as long as they're around us. But oh my word, you see that rod tip? Look at it just bounce. Alright, I'm going to keep moving deeper until I get beyond these things. I'm just going to roll the motor forward a little bit. What's nice is, oh my word, you guys see what's in the water below us here. There must be a cloud. Does that work? You see the cloud of fish? I don't know if that's kind of funny. But it's just a cloud of them. And they followed me up from the bottom, so that's not a good sign. So I'm going to go forward here. Hopefully my cameraman doesn't fall over from the waves. Because the pontoon boats and jet skis, I guess should be happy there's no wakeboards. We'll call it good that way. But yeah, now the fish are following us. That's kind of interesting. Alright, we're at 16.3, 16.4, 16.7, 8, 17. Anchor. Alright, usually when we move we get one or two decent ones right off the bat, and then the little guys move in and slow us down, but at least you know there's a lot of fish in this lake. Stand up here, I don't see any beads on the graph. There, I pinned a decent one. Ah, bummer. Look at him go. Well, he's got all of that all over the place. to show me at least catching one of these decent ones out here. It's a hard bite, it really is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You gotta work for every fish. But they're here. Alright, there's weeds below us now, so our odds have increased, but that pike probably as little as it was. Might have moved some of it off. There's a fish. "20 feet of water is where we're at now. So if you kind of get a feel for the edge, I was bouncing it up when, oh, nice. I'm going to get seasick on the camera here. I have to move us up. There's a small sunfish. We'll see if he's... Well, he's not tiny, but he's not big either. That's a female. You can tell it's a female because of how it is. No, it's a joke. The males obviously have that orange on the bottom. They're a darker color usually. The females are this lighter green, ouch, with the yellow on the top here. Holy cow. There it is. And so that's a female. I'll get them back if you can. The males are the ones that guard the eggs, obviously. But the females, the big females, are important for the, for the future. The smaller females, I don't know, they're just younger maybe, but we've gotten a few of the males that have those real sloped heads, and you know that that's the trick for that bigger body. Drop shotting is real fun. Taking a kid drop shotting, that's even more fun. The opportunity to tangle is 100%, and it's a real fun challenge. I'm going to try to catch me a big bull male here quick, and we'll call it, but that is deep wet. 23 feet. Alright, I'm going to bust us in. A lot of people will catch sunfish walleye fishing when they get in towards the weed edge. It's that same concept. I think the water temperature drives them out, but the lack of oxygen keeps them from going too deep too. So you've got that kind of happy medium. I don't know how far the oxygen dissolves below the thermocline, but most of these down imaging depth finders, like the one I'm seeing here, you can actually make out the thermocline. I don't know if weeds or small things seem to hang up on that thermocline, so you can kind of get a feel for it. And then boat, taking your boat in towards shore till you match the thermocline right there. Match the thermocline to where the fish can get to on the bottom. And that's kind of the trick, I think. At least that's been my trick. it's all junk from the boat traffic really pulls a lot of weeds around, which I guess different people enjoy the water different ways. No judgment. We're back up to 17.4, but this is just a sandy nothing bottom here. But it's right at that edge where the thermocline kind of rolls, so I'm gonna one more time. And back up. My goal here is to find the edge of the cabbage. $16.8. Alright, there's the edge of the cabbage. So we've moved exactly 10 feet from where we were. I'm anchoring again. Straight across the shore, there's a really big cabbage bed. And next video maybe we'll cast for crappies and that. That's a lot of fun. They're not big, but they're plentiful. There's one. Another little guy. Note to self, knock the barbs off these things. I think that would make it a lot easier. Sam can attest, sometimes you get down there and even the big ones will just sit and suck on it. They're so neutral. They don't come and grab it and run away. They just go up to it, grab it, and don't move. So it's important to lift the rod every once in a while just to make sure. Another runt. Alright, we're going to try one more shot here. They're getting smaller. Part of it is I'm kind of reusing the same bait because I don't want to, grab a new bait and all I'm catching is these tiny little things. But boy, I tell you, the huge wakes from these boats and stuff kind of slow you down, but it looks like they're all in for supper now. There's a good one. There's a fish. That's a nice, another female, but decent. The reason the struggle is so real getting the hook out is because I'm using a really long shanked hook. I do not like them swallowing it, and if you're not right on top of it, it's pretty easy for them to do. Didn't come out here to kill fish, so you don't get a lot of leverage on the hook. That was a decent one, so that's 2 females out of here. Usually the males are a little bit, I'm going to say bigger out here, but I think I've got bigger females than I have males, which is kind of funny. Oh, it's just going to be one after another of these guys. Come here, you little baby. think they follow it down from above and then they beat the big ones to it. Yeah. Hope we don't get copyright infringement for the music playing on the shore. It's a little one. There's a good fish. Look at that thing run. That's a big bull. Finally. Look at that size of that, you guys. That's what we came out here for. Ouch. I can barely get my hand on that. You see that? You can tell that's a male, even though it's not highly colored. You get the solid blue here, and you see it's starting to orange up on the belly. Boy, is that a beautiful fish. You want to make sure you let those big ones go, guys. Just do. I know it's a pride thing for a bunch of people. They say, oh, look, I caught this great big, huge, whatever. And, you know, they got a bucket full of giant bluegills out of whatever. But, I don't know. I'm not trying to make you feel bad if you keep big fish or whatever. I just know that if you take all the big ones out, they're not there to make more big ones. I hope that makes sense. And in this lake too, they started really hitting the pike hard. And so there isn't a person out here who wants to eat a 2-inch bluegill or a 6-inch bluegill for that matter. And so the pike, they don't mind. And they'll sit and they'll eat that stuff. Whereas we will not. So what happened there is my... Well, you have a wonderful day.